Welcome to Bones to Bulk, your source of information on how to gain lean muscle. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host. And today we're talking about quitting and how to not quit when it comes to your goals and what you want to accomplish. So strap in and get ready for episode 013. So how often do you run into someone who you know was working out for a while or maybe tried a new diet, and you run into them a couple weeks or a couple months later and you kind of ask them how it's going and you get that, well, or maybe you're the one to get that. You start something new and someone approaches you and they ask you, how's it going? And you kind of have that response, well, and you start shuffling your feet, looking at the ground and trying to figure out what to say. It just wasn't a right fit for me. Or come on, we all know that's crap. So why do we really quit things? Well, there's a couple aspects involved here. First off is if you've quit a diet, that is because diets are set up to fail. That's right. You heard me right. Diets are set up to fail. If they weren't, why would there be a new diet coming out every month? Why, when you walk into the bookstore, are there hundreds of books on different diets and do this, don't do this, don't do that? The reason is a diet basically takes you and it says, okay, you need to stop eating XYZ food. And when you do stop eating XYZ food, you will turn into, this massive muscle person or this super skinny model. And that's all you have to do. And guess what? It works for a little bit. We see some progress, but it's kind of impossible to just completely cut something out forever. And so guess what? We start slipping back into old habits. And before we know it, we're back to square one. This is why I completely believe in the concept of you don't get a new diet. You don't find the latest fad when it comes to that. You build solid eating habits that you can carry with you for the long term. It's things that you implement into your everyday life. It's not, I'm going to restrict this food group altogether or this or that. It's, I'm going to learn how to eat wholesome nutrition food that fuels and makes my body into a lean machine. That's what it's all about. And if you're looking for that, we have a bunch of courses online that are our complete nutrition guides. We have a free course that's a great starter to kind of get you headed in the right direction. So head on over to bones2bulk.com and check that out if you haven't already. Now, with that being said, why do we quit? Just in general, we set fitness goals. Maybe it's New Year's and we tell ourselves, this is the year. We're going to drop 50 pounds. We're going to get in shape. We're going to build muscle. We're going to just turn into a lean fighting machine. And then we're in March or maybe not even that far, and we've completely forgotten our goal. Why is that? Why do we quit? Why do we fail? There's several things involved here. One, we set unreal expectations. Okay, let's be honest. You're not going to transform overnight from your current state. It's just not possible when it comes to health and nutrition and fitness. You can't make drastic changes overnight. You can make drastic changes, but it's going to take time. And that's okay, because guess what? Let's say your ultimate goal took you 5 years to hit. Now, you may be sitting back and think, man, I don't want to wait 5 years to be in the kind of shape I want to be in, but let's just say it does. It probably isn't going to take you that long, but I'm just going extreme here. So let's say it takes you 5 years. So it takes you 5 years. So what? Guess what? 5 years is going to come and go. And at the end of that 5 years, you're either going to be A, at your goal, or you're B, going to be exactly where you are. You're advancing in age regardless of whether you like it or not. Time is passing each day, so that time is going to go by. What are you choosing to do in order to make changes to get where you want to be, regardless of if it's a year, 2, 3, or 5 years down the road? I get excited about this. So start now, first off, and don't expect overnight success. That's the biggest pitfall. You go in expecting sudden results. You don't get them. You think, oh, this just isn't for me, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm just destined to be big boned. Oh my gosh. No, you're not. Or I'm just destined to be a skinny guy. Trust me, if I had believed that, I would still be a super skinny dude. I would be tiny. I'd be used in classrooms. The little skeleton that sits in the corner where they kind of identify all the bones bones in A&P class, yeah, that'd be me still. But guess what? You can. There's no final sledgehammer that says you cannot change. You can't do anything about your current state. That's just, it doesn't happen. You can change anything you want to change. So what else causes us to quit? Second off, we don't have a clear goal. We say, I want to gain muscle. Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you want to gain muscle. Set some more particular goals. I want to gain 20 pounds of lean muscle in a year. That's an attainable goal that is measurable. Goals have to be measurable in order for them to be a goal. If you can't measure it, how the crap do you know if you're reaching your goal or not? And, the reason I say that is, okay, if you set a goal to gain 20 pounds a year, you've got to gain a certain amount of pounds each month, don't you? So you can break it down into smaller goals, and you can weigh in and test yourself and measure yourself each month and ask yourself, okay, based on these measurements, based on my weigh-in, am I on track to hit my goal at the end of the year? And if you're not, okay, just readjust and go harder the second month. And if you are on track, awesome. You're doing it. So set clear goals and write them down somewhere. I don't care if it's on your tablet, your computer, your phone, a piece of paper, one of those markers that you run in your mirrors with. Write it down somewhere so that you're going to see it on a regular basis and remind yourself what your goal is. Another reason sometimes we quit and fail, and this one's tough, other people. I know there's people out there who they want to make healthy changes, and either their family, their friends, even significant others, they don't encourage them. They don't want to see them succeed in it. And that's tough. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat that and lie and say that, oh, screw them, just do your thing and don't even worry about it, because that's a big thing. You want their support, but guess what? You've got to decide in your soul, in your inner being, that I want to do this because X, Y, and Z, and lay out your why. Your why is super important. I want to do this because I need to build confidence, and I want to, just spell it out, list out the reasons, and then hold on to that and know that you're doing this for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. And going in knowing that is going to set the standard, because you can say to yourself, you know what? It sucks that they don't have my back, that they don't understand this, but I know deep inside this is what I need, this is what I want, and whether I have their support or not, I'm going and I'm charging after this. That's the mentality you have to have. And again, it's not easy, but you've got to go in with that grit, with that mental strength. Speaking of mental strength, this brings me to the last reason why we quit. We quit because we're not growing, we're not learning. You can't expect to get a degree if you don't study and go to class. You're going to flunk out, right? It's the same way with our fitness. We've got to constantly be listening to and reading things that are going to help us grow, whether it be podcasts, whether it be audiobooks, regular books, videos on YouTube. Find content and absorb it. And this doesn't have to be limited solely to fitness. Go out and listen to an audiobook on leadership or how to get out of debt, or all these things, they share a common theme, and that common theme is you're getting stronger and you're getting to a better place than where you once were, and that's what fitness is all about. I hope you have found this helpful today, and I just want to encourage you that regardless of what anybody has told you, what obstacles you're facing or have faced in the past, you can achieve your goal. I promise you, you've got this.